Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Harachak, Wadash, double honor spent to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this 100% truth. Much peace and blessings be unto you, hopeful, elect out to push not this word of thought, truth, and sincerity. To all you occupants, say Shalom. I am the Akira. I'm from the sermons Yahweh, but Yahweh Shai Cam coming in with a quick lesson. Going into, the Lord won't hear you very soon, so hey, best get on it right now, start diving in. So this is the book of Isaiah, the 55th chapter, verse 6. It says, "Seek ye the Lord while he may be found." Yeah, right now in this grace period that we're still in, because although shit's hitting the fan, slowly but surely, what happens is that there be certain instances where, things come in hard and they kind of dial back down, and it comes back hard and it dials back down, but eventually it's gonna, the Lord's gonna finally, press that switch, and very soon everything will be done. Right now we're in a calm before a storm, if you will. All right, you got tension still, but ain't nothing really grievous, right? But it goes on to say, "Seek ye the Lord while he may be found, call ye upon him while he is near." Alright, and this is very important, and I'm telling myself that first and foremost. Alright, because I'm gonna admit it, I've been messing up, man. And we've all been there, but the thing is, we gotta get back up again. It's all through the form of a mindset, right? Hey, but when shit hits the fan and you're going off, you're lollygagging, because keep in mind, we don't know the time, we don't know anything. How wish I could come back down here like next week, all of a sudden, Lord could hit that switch, and we're at a war right now. We'll be at a war like tomorrow, and all this blah blah blah, persecution starts coming in, by 2 months in, Yahweh doesn't come back. Who knows? We don't know that. That's just an analogy rather yet. And that could happen, man, and that's actually a terrible thing. Hey, so the scriptures say, through the terror of the Lord we persuade men. I'm gonna get that precept out. It says, 2 Corinthians, the 5th chapter, verse 11, "Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord we persuade men." Alright, persuade, that word to persuade means to, bear with me, lead to the opinion or conclusion that make one believer think. Yeah, we'll make you believe, man. Alright, cause someone to do something through reasoning or argument. Hey, we'll coax you, we'll convince you through reasoning, to serve the Lord, man, to fear the Lord. Hey, because the Lord's in control of all things, and falling into his hands, man, the Lord could really mess you up, and you don't want to be left behind as well. That's a terrible fate, and that's why we're all about seeking out our own salvation, to hop on those chariots, man, to get that one-way ticket, be preserved from the ICBMs, man. All right, you don't want to get smoked. You don't want to burn up in a big old bonfire. That's a terrible fate. So seek ye the Lord while he may be found right now. You got the prophets out in the highways and hedges, the men of the Lord, those men out there constantly, week in and week out. Hey, they're making themselves known, risking their freedoms, their lives, their necks out just to teach us truth, man. All right, and this truth is really directed into the Israelites, the nation of Israel. All right, Revelation 11th chapter was going into that. And also, we're doing these lessons, man. The internet wasn't created for, cat memes, wasn't made for Instagram, wasn't made for, freaking, adult videos, wasn't made for any of that crap. It was really intended for, spreading out the gospel, man. All right, the good news, that Yahweh Shai, through his death, redeemed us back to the Father, man, and that we were those men that we get delivered up out of this, hellhole, and the kingdom is restored. We're back in power, and etc. All the blessings, all the reward, all the promises, that was prophesied before time. All right, but this truth was really supposed to be preached out throughout the four corners of the earth, by way of the internet, the Wi-Fi. All right, King David even prophesied about that. I forget what Psalms that was in, but again, Psalms, it's like Isaiah the 55th chapter, verse 6. Seek ye the Lord, seek. I can add it to the etymology. It says go and search or quest, strive for, try to attain. I gotta strive for this truth, man. Alright, what do I try to attain? Like we got nothing left to lose, because that's really all we have, man. That's really all that is, man. We got nothing to lose. So therefore we must, man. We must seek the Lord. Seek ye the Lord when he be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Unrighteous man his thoughts. Because you have to realize that iniquity really, which is an action, it really stems back from these thoughts that you be having. All right, these wicked thoughts. Yeah. And there's this quote going into how watch your thoughts, because those thoughts lead into actions, and those actions lead into your habits. And we all know, man, the habits you commit, they make what you are. They make you who you are. They make you wicked. Going on, it says, let him return to the Lord. Yeah, return to the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashman Shai, and walking, the old paths, man. Walking the old paths. Taking heed, getting that rebuke, being sharpened, all right, being informed on the coming dangers. Hey, the scriptures go into how it's like a prudent man, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. All right, we foresee the ultimate, the ultimate prophecy to take place, man, which is an intercontinental it's that thermonuclear destruction by way of the intercontinental ballistic missiles. And we know that's the end all be all for the world, man, because the wickedness is exceedingly polluted it. And that was in the book of 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter, verse 5, if I'm not mistaken. See, the Lord has a what's it called, what's that one word? The Lord has a plan. In other words, I forget the proper term. I forget the proper term, a contingency, the Lord has a contingency plan, to clear out all the pollution. East, I've been talking about, coming up with these various organizations to, which really, they all lead to that end of Yo, but, these various organizations to, help clear out pollution. And then you got these lower ranking Edomites and the heathen, they be trying to set up their own little groups, doing the conservation, crap, which really that's all vain. See, the Lord has a plan for that, and that's through the fire, all right, because fire removes impurities. It's known for that to happen, all right. You see it in gold bars and silver. You see it, when you're, trying to clean out some, what's it called, utensils, things of that sort. The heat burns the impurities. It kills all the toxins away, man. So the Lord's about it, clear out actual plastic pollution and, all the other types of pollutions that are harming the earth, as well as the wickedness, man. All right, there's left-hand philosophies, man. All right, so going back to verse 7. Return to the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our power, for he will abundantly pardon. All right. And that's the thing about Yahweh Ba'ashman Shai, he's very long-suffering, and there's a grace period right now, so you better not neglect that. And I tell myself that first and foremost, because like one of the Yakin made mention, some of the Yakin be willfully going off at little sins that won't let, they won't lead to death necessarily, but they aren't pleasing to the Lord, man, either way, so you don't want to be doing that. Hey, this is just going to how be holy, fire, holy, man. But I want to get a precept out. It's been on my mind. It was I believe it was Proverbs, the first chapter. You know, it's a simple precept, a well-known precept. Proverbs, the first chapter. And it's a lot for the background noise, if you could hear the plane. You know, it's a lot about that. I can't even hear myself, but you know, a little way y'all can. But Proverbs, the first chapter, verse, and I'm gonna start off at verse 24. You know, just getting to the point. Because I have called and you refused. You refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. Have the Lord sent out his men, you know, into the high place, the chief places of concourse, you know, your commercial areas, you know, like and over there in the metropolitan areas, in the big cities, you have Akim literally in every street corner. You got like thousands of people just walk by them in every single second. But over in the, you know, more and more quieter cities, you know, you go to the chief places of concourse, you know, you're really dense locations. And we make ourselves known, man. Hey, but at the end, you know, a lot of you guys like to stay ignorant. All right, you guys got a saying, you know, ignorance is bliss. All right, that's why a lot of Jake, you know, especially they hate watching the news. All right, they don't like it because it vexes them. All right, so they rather stand informed and live life in mirth, going to the club and partying all day and night and whatnot. Well, ultimately, that'll get you destroyed, man. That's why it's important, you know, to watch you upon the gates, as the scriptures say. So, as I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded, but ye have said it not. All my counsel meaning advice, because these scriptures give out advice, and they're a guide. All right, you know, case in point, books like Ecclesiasticus, aka Sirach, or Sirach, how you pronounce it. You know, Wisdom of Solomon, Proverbs, right here. You know, Ecclesiastes, books like that. You know, Exodus. You know, Yahweh Shai was commanding the disciples. He really commanded to us through the Spirit. All right. So, but yeah, said, now on my counsel and with none of my reproof, I will, you know, reproof from the sake, it goes into correction. All right. Correction, you know, review. You guys say all that. You guys want to live in that mentality that you guys are 100% right and never wrong and this and then the third, that the world revolves around. No, man, no. All right, one thing about this truth is humility. All right, you get cut, that's a beautiful thing because you're showing godly sorrow. But if you hate getting cut and you want to avoid it, then, you know, what then, you know? Hey, you know, you ain't helping yourself out. Yeah, it's a bitter thing. Yeah, it hurts. But one thing to know is, like the other Apostle Gabal made the mention, how it's the most bitter things that, you know, heal you, they cleanse you. And I'm telling myself that first and foremost, just in case I forget that, and remind myself, you gotta remind yourselves. The most bitter things heal, man. They heal the most. So rebuke, you know, it hurts, but, you know, it's really a beautiful thing. You know, it heals you. All right. So, yeah, because, you know, it prevents you from continuously going off, which leads to the wages of sin. You know, it's like it, which lead unto the wages of sin, which is death. You know, you don't want that. And you want to, you know, the whole point about taking medicine, the whole point of recovering is to prevent things like death, right? So you want that medicine to aid you, you know. And you want to be cut so you could, you know, watch yourself, man. Now you're circumspect. Now you know not to go off in that certain area and things of that sort. So like my voice is kind of, you know, cracking up. But verse 26, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear, see this scenario, which will take place, you know, will come into play if you ain't taking heed, man. All right, right now, ASAP, right now, this very date. All right, so you wanna get on it now, all right, lest the Lord doesn't listen to you anymore. Hey, because the scriptures say, you know, he that turneth his ear away from the law of the Lord, you know, the Lord won't hear his prayers. Now That's a lion being drawn right. That's a lion drawn right there. That's a man. Hey, that's a terrible thing to happen for you to be sealed away from the Lord, man. That's true forsaken, right? That's truly being forsaken right there. And you don't want that to happen. Hey, you want to be the son of the Most High. You want to be a friend of the Most High, Yahweh Shemel Shai, right? You know, when it goes into the what's it called? Intimacy. I forget what precept was that. It's like I'm gonna bring it out because I don't want to butcher it. So like about that again. So I believe it was Psalms the 25th chapter, verse 14. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear Him. The secret goes into intimacy, friendship. Hey, when you have a close bond with somebody, a lot of secrets, a lot of knowledge, a lot of stuff is spewed amongst each other, right? So that word secret really means intimacy, that closeness, that bond, that affection. That's what the Lord has with this man, and you want that, all right? You don't want to be, some random, you don't want to be a cunt. In other words, you don't want to be a random person, the enemy of the Lord. Hell no. All right, because you don't speak to your, like the war. All right, sure there be truces, there be treaties being made, things of that sort. But usually you try, your hardest not to communicate with your enemy at war, if I'm not mistaken. Which actually, although it does happen, you had in Russia right now with the Wagner, the PMC, the private military group. They actually, private military company, that's what the PMC stands for. They ended up, after a day of rebellion, ended up, striking a deal with the Belarusian president. If I'm not mistaken, they say it was a request of President Putin because he refused to talk to him directly. The Prigozhin, whatever the guy, the head of the PMC. So he refused to speak to him. So he sent Belarusian president speaking to him. Yet, there was a deal, and in exchange for the Wagner soldiers that did participate in the rebellion, in exchange for their safety, they would cough the shots, they would retreat back to the base, so that's an example of, communication amongst enemies and war, but usually that ain't the case, man. All right, especially now, so more so than ever right now, with America, and it's what's it called? Neutral, friends, if you will, rather. I'm just gonna leave it like that, man. You know what the deal is. You know what the deal is. But going back to Proverbs, the first chapter, digressing back, Proverbs the first chapter, verse 26. I also will laugh at your calamity, and distress, tribulation. I will mock when your fear cometh. And tribulation, case in point, that being Jacob's trouble. All right. And best believe in that day, which actually won't be a little day, but a period of time. All right, so when we say that, that day, that great day, the day, slacking up the Jacob's trouble, it ain't talking about a little day, but we're referring to a period of time. All right, I just want to, just explain that as we always do. So during that time, all right, best believe, man, you're gonna have a lot of Jake ass slew, and a lot of those Jake are the ones that didn't listen to the word of the Lord, But then at the latter, they're gonna be like, oh, what were those guys talking about? What? Yeah, who? What? Yeah, how? Yeah, how? What? By Shemel Shai. All right, please, I pray that thou mayest deliver me. But no, all right, it'll be over, man. It'll be too late. All right, the Lord don't like last seconders rather yet. It's too late. Hey, the Lord gave you the time, but you disregarded it, just because you wanted, now that crap is, afflicting you. I don't mean shit, man. The Lord doesn't care, so I will mock when your fear comes. See, the Lord will mock. See, the Lord has a sense of humor. It's a very dark sense of humor. That's the thing about the Lord, man. He's terrible. He's greatly to be feared. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. See? Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord, they would none of my counsel. They despised on the reproof. Therefore, and this ain't a metaphor, all right? You know, this is going to literally happen. So they would none of my counsel, they would despise on my reproof. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. You know, that karma, man. You know, that karma. You know, what's it called? You reap what you sow. What comes around goes around. You know, so hey, you shall reap that reward for you know the actions, the consequence. You know, the actions you did. So you shall suffer that consequence, man. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, in the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. See, you know, the prudent man forsake the evil and hideth himself. You know, and I just want to do a quick lesson touching on that, man. Going to how the Lord won't hear you soon, so you know you better seek ye the Lord now. But hopefully this is most edifying to the next one. I say shalom.